صلوا على الحبيب صلى الله تعالى على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. Questions and answers about Islamic veil. What if someone hesitates to wear a veil? Just before I continue with the question, we come across different foreigners that actually come into this country and they actually look like Muslims. And sometimes when we give salam to them, we don't even get a reply because they are non-Muslims. But the tone of color, it looks exactly like the Asian Muslims that we come across. So sometimes when they are following the Western culture, whether it's a female who is wearing a skirt, whether she's wearing half clothing, naked, sometimes Islamic sisters might see that this is a Muslim doing this. This is not a Muslim that's doing this. We are observing and we should not be copying society, and this is why we fall into the trap. And sometimes we come across like little children as well. You might notice, you might take them to your relative's house, or they might see that the children are seeing that the other child has something like a toy, whether he has a quad bike or whether he has a motorcycle. Now when the child goes home and he starts instructing his parents that, look, he's got a bike, I want a bike as well. So we're going into this trend that we look at people and we like to follow their steps. But in reality, we should be following the footsteps of the beloved Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. Now this is the question which is asked. Society has advanced greatly and there is a fashion craze everywhere. So many sisters hesitate to wear a veil these days. What should they do? So many examples I've just mentioned, and further examples I'll mention. There's many supermarkets, online shopping centers. They are selling different type of clothing that are not according to the Sharia. And our sisters, our daughters, our mothers, they fall into this trap and they purchase these kind of clothing and then reveal their body parts. We have to be careful of that. So the answer to this question is, do not stop wearing the full Islamic veil, because this is a great virtuous deed and unveiling is a severe sin. The more difficult you find to observe veil, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal, the more reward you will gain. It is narrated, the best act of worship is the one that involves more hardship. Imam Sharafuddin Nahwi alayhi rahmatullahi qawi said, the reward and excellence of a deed increases with its greater difficulty and expenditure. Sayyidina Umar bin Abdul Aziz radiyallahu ta'ala anhu said, the best deed is the one which requires people to force their nafs, meaning inner ego, into doing it. Sayyidina Ibrahim bin Adham alayhi rahmatullahi al-akram said, the harder an action in this world, the heavier it shall be on the scales on the day of judgment. However, if someone has a problem with their own heart, then what can we say about her? The famous commentator Hakimul Ummat Mufti Ahmad Yar Khan alayhi rahmatul Mannan wrote on page 318 of Nurul Irfan, if someone finds sin easy and worship difficult, then get informed that his heart contains hypocrisy. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us. The next question we are moving forward is, it is said that Sayyidatuna Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha preferred that even her shroud should not be seen by any non-mahrim man. So the answer, my dear Islamic brothers and sisters, is definitely after the visible demise of the Prophet of Rahmah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam, the lady of paradise, princess of the universe, Sayyidatuna Fatima Zahra radiyallahu ta'ala anha, was so overtaken by grief of being away from Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam that she radiyallahu ta'ala anha never smiled. She radiyallahu ta'ala anha was only seen smiling once before passing away. The following is a report of that one occasion. All her life, the Lady of Paradise radiyallahu ta'ala anha concealed her body from the eyes of other men, but was worried about men seeing her shrouded body after her demise. On one occasion, Sayyidatuna Asma bint Umais radiyallahu ta'ala anha said, in Ethiopia, I saw people tying branches of trees together to make a type of palanquin for the corpse and then covered it with a cloth. Then she had some branches of date trees bought and joined them together and covered them with a cloth to show it to the Lady of Paradise radiyallahu ta'ala anha. Sayyida Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha became very happy and smiled. This is the only instance of anyone witnessing her smile after the visible demise of the greatest and holiest Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanallah. Just look at the veil of the Lady of Paradise radiyallahu ta'ala anha. A poet very rightly said, be pious and observe veil like Sayyidatuna Fatima Zahra, so that you see a child like Sayyiduna Imam Hussein in your lap, insha'Allah Azza wa Jal. Last and final question, it mentions, will people not see the Lady of Paradise radiyallahu ta'ala anha crossing the bridge of Sirat on the day of judgment? Answer, Alama Jalaluddin Sayuti Shafi'i alayhi rahmatullahi al-qawi has stated that Amir al-Mu'mineen Mawla-e Kainat Ali al-Murtada, the Lion of Allah Karamallahu ta'ala Wajhul Kareem, narrated that the noble and greatest Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, on the day of judgment, an announcer will say, O people, lower your heads, close your eyes, so that Sayyidatuna Fatima radiyallahu ta'ala anha binte Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alihi wasallam will cross the bridge of Sirat. So may Allah Azza wa Jalla bless our sisters the ability to cover themselves and to follow the footsteps of Sayyidatuna Fatima to Zahra radiyallahu ta'ala anha. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.